Wake up at 4:30 in the morning every day. I get up and the first thing I do is I get a high protein, high carbohydrate meal. I go outside and I work out. I lift as hard as I can and I box as hard as I can. And I come inside and I take a freezing cold shower any month, any day. I live in Ohio. It's freezing right now. It's 48 degrees outside and I went outside freezing cold after I took my shower this morning. It's 10 o'clock right now and I'm recording this video. I get up, normally if it was a school day, I'd go straight to school and I would push as hard as I could. Zoom through my classes and I do everything in my power to focus and I do everything in my power to do all of the work that I could possibly do. I do as much as I can at school. On the way back home, after I've got done with my band practices and all of my classes, I tell my girlfriend that I love her and goodbye. I go home, I eat the cleanest food that I can, I do as much work as I can, I read and I meditate and I'm happy. What do you do in the morning? Does it sound like that? Do you read? Do you listen to your brain? Do you listen to your physical body? Do you listen to your girlfriend? Do you listen to your teachers? Do you pay attention? Do you work as physically hard and as mentally hard as you can? Are you doing the best that you can? Probably not, but I'm not either. No one is perfect. I am surely not perfect, and you are not either, and we will never be perfect. There will never be a day that will come that will make us that way. Most people get up 30 minutes before they need to leave, probably don't even shower in the morning, just shower the night before. Don't do anything, scroll on TikTok, eat a shitty breakfast, high carbs, high sugar, terrible for them. Don't use either of those carbs or sugar. Go to school, barely pay attention in class because their diet is so shit that they can't even think straight. They sit there, they fall asleep in about 90% of their classes because the night before they didn't go to bed at a normal time and get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Whereas me and you might be getting 8 to 9. They don't focus, they don't have an after-school curricular activity to keep them focused on anything else other than their lifting. They don't lift, anyways. They go home, no girlfriend, no boyfriend, they're miserable. They don't know what meditation is, they just get on their computer and mindlessly play video games. They sit there and they don't do anything. They mindlessly scroll on TikTok and they hate their life. But it's so chock full of dopamine that they can't even feel their brain telling them to stop and to push. Do something else, something worth it. Most people refer to these people as NPCs, or a non-playable character. They don't exist, they don't do anything, and honestly, people get offended by that term, but I just see it as the truth. They don't do anything special, there's nothing interesting going on. They just sit there and mindlessly listen to music or scroll or play video games, talk to friends that don't even give a shit about them. But yet they keep doing it because the dopamine has numbed them. And the only way that they'll get better is it has to get so bad that they have to push on. And that's the sadness about this. That's the reason that people can't live a happy life. Talk about your psychology. That's why you clicked on this video in the first place. Most people have the same psychology. Typically, let's say you're a psychopath, you still have the basic brain pathways, sociopaths, things like that. But we're not talking about regular psychology like, who you are and how you feel. We're talking about psychology as in pathing specifically, why you do the things that you do. Let's start with my psychology. I'll give myself a personal analysis. There's an obvious bias, so if you're giving yourself an analysis, you have a bias. Just believe that. It's true. I'm a decently selfish person, which sounds bad, but everyone is. Look into it. I'd say I care enough about other people that I'm doing the work not just for myself. And I do believe that there is something after this, and I do think that I am my own strong person with my own opinions. And I think most of the things that I do are trauma-based. I think most of the actions, physical actions and mental actions that I commit daily aren't just mental disorders that I've been diagnosed with that probably don't even exist. They're just things that my brain makes me do because of things that have happened to me in my life. And that's just the truth. Talk about your psychology. What do you do? What are the same actions that you do every day? When you open a door, do you look left and right? When someone yells at you, do you cry? I do. There's nothing wrong with that. Did you have an abusive childhood? That's probably why you act certain ways. You weren't born with anxiety and depression, you got it. Some people are more likely to get it, I believe, and have the dopamine pathways and everything, but no one is guaranteed to have depression. It's never guaranteed psychologically to have depression. And that's the thing. We see all of these young men and even fully grown men, and we think that's so weak. You don't do anything physically, maybe you're on self-improvement. You've been on long enough to be like, that's weak. How could you not live like this? But think of what you were like before. Think of it. You didn't know anything about this. You didn't know what self-improvement was. You probably don't have a clue right now. It's probably why you're watching this video about your own personal psychology, your trauma. So what am I trying to get to you through this video? Your trauma. Were you beaten as a child? Were you hungry as a child? When you're a child, that's the most vulnerable mental state that you could be in. Everything that you see is what you will be for the rest of your life. I'm hands down a perfect product of this. When I was younger, I was never exposed to health. Never. My family is not healthy at all. It's one of my long-term goals is to make my mother and my father, whom I don't know, the healthiest people that I possibly can. My stepfather, my brother, my sister, I want them to all be as healthy as possible. That's a very hard goal to achieve, but it's something that I strive for every day. The way that I eat to this day is still affected. I still sometimes accidentally will grab certain foods that I were told that was healthy. I was told that was healthy. I've been doing this for 2 years. They're not healthy. I thought bread was healthy for like 3 years. You probably didn't even think of that because that's not even like a bad health thing. Just people just believe that. High processed bread is not good for you. I still eat it. Your psychology is heavily determined on your early life. And what I want you to take away from this video is you need to dig deep with meditation and journaling. Do not forget to journal. And over time, you will achieve a deeper understanding of yourself. But I think the best tip that I could give you to truly understand who you are is when you are physically at your worst. And this is a hard situation to put yourself in, but through all the journaling and meditating, you can find it. But the easiest way to do it, and David Goggins is the one who taught me this. I'm not going to lie. He's talked about this in a bunch of podcasts, and I've watched one, and it's a beautiful concept. When you are physically at your worst, think of this. You're a soldier in World War I. You are in the trenches. You know you're going to die, most likely. There's bullets flying over your head. You're freezing cold. You most likely have multiple diseases. You've been starving for 4 days, and you're sitting there. Do you think that you give two fucks about all of this masking layer that your brain's put on you? All of these labels that society's given you? You don't care about, oh, well, I'm a straight cis white male, or I'm a woman. You don't care about that. You don't care about, well, I'm depressed, I have anxiety. You care about who you really are. You care about your spirit and your soul. When you're about to die, you don't think of dumb stuff. Unless you're so abruptly about to die, car accident, God rest their souls. I'm sorry for anybody that's been through that or seen that. But when you're about to die, when you are sick, when you are vulnerable, that's when your brain is off and you can think your clearest, no matter what, typically. And that's when you realize you've seen your life. That's when you realize like what you've been through, what you psychologically are, who you are as a human being. I don't think you could truly get in that situation naturally unless you were to go run a marathon. And when you're sitting there and you're so, like David Goggins talks about, like running a marathon, or if you're just physically doing something and you're just like literally dying basically, but you just push on, that's when you find yourself. I'm not telling you all of this to put you in a bad mood. I'm sure most people have clicked off by now, but if you are still here, what I want you to take away from this video is if you meditate and if you journal, and if you dig deep within yourself, be careful. Stay happy, stay strong, stay mentally committed, and your goals will be achieved. But you will not only be rich, possibly famous, powerful, physically and mentally, you'll be happy. And happiness is the stridations of life. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.